What is going on, everybody? So, quick check of the forecast. Turns out I'm not riding today, tomorrow, or the next day I have off. To give you an idea of what's going on, let's check in with Bonesaw and see the current state of the Thunderdome.
There's a fucking river going through the middle of the Thunderdome. What the hell?
You wanna float your boat, Georgie? Come over here.
So, I got to digging on my hard drive and I found some footage that I never released. You remember when Kevin decided he was gonna go big or go home? Brutal. Well, I never actually released the rest of that footage. This is actually a gray bush ride we did back in November. So I figured as a topic today we would talk about what the Gray Bush Moto Squad actually is, how it's helped me, why you need to join a group, and you shouldn't be riding alone off-road. Also throughout I'll be passing the mic over to Bonesaw Moto. So the message behind today's topic is going to be basically get out, find some people to ride with, get out and have some fun. So we have Kevin leading the ride today on his crf450, followed by Bonesaw Moto on his wr250r. Me, and then Vance in the rear with the rm250. This little bit right here, we have a little stretch of road to go to get to the actual trail. As we go over these couple creek crossings, I suppose I'll pass the mic over to Bonesaw Moto. So Bonesaw, what is the Gray Bush and how did it come about?
Bonesaw, breaker of things here. I want to take a minute, answer a few questions about Gray Bush Moto Squad. Gray Bush Moto Squad is the name of the local riding group, formed by none other than Sleeping Giant, DK himself, and Bonesaw, the Breaker. Gray Bush Moto Squad actually has its roots in dual sport riding. The first two members, myself and the Sleeping Giant, DK, met on the street. Started out as a dual sport group. We quickly progressed to full-on dirt moto after we found out what we were missing out on.
Right on. So I get asked this all the time in my comment section. Why the name Gray Bush? What that doesn't sound quite right. What does it actually mean?
Why Gray Bush? I have to sit back and laugh when I tell them, have you seen us? Every one of us is busted up and gray looking one way or another. It's kind of a requirement.
Yep, got a point there. Can't deny that. Now, if you're local and you want to join the Gray Bush, how do you do that, Bonesaw?
Gray Bush Moto Squad is always looking for more members. We're not that exclusive. All you need is a dirt bike, a decent personality, and show up and ride. Reach out to Gladius John or myself, Bonesaw Moto. If you're close by to Virginia, and we'll set up a ride. Come on out, join us. If we like you, we'll make you a member.
Thanks, Bonesaw, for that. Now, if you'd like to check out his channel, I'll leave a link in the description as well as a card up here in the top right. Now, I'd like to add a couple things to that real quick here. First of all, there's no skill level requirement for joining the Gray Bush group. So we have people in our group ranging from 1 month riding experience all the way up to A-class level endurance racers. And that's actually the beauty of a group like this and how it's actually helped me grow. When I first started two-wheel off-road riding, there's no way I could even keep up with myself here like as I'm doing in this video. There's no way I could even keep up at this pace, not even close. First of all, riding off-road in a group it's got many different advantages. One, yes, it's going to grow your skill tremendously because each person is going to test each other on the obstacle. The goal as a group is to grow together.
There you go, get 'em
now,
out, man.
the best thing about being in a group is when things do go wrong, you have somebody there to pick your bike up for you. You have somebody there for moral support. And in a bad situation, you have somebody there to help get emergency services. Most of the time, you're just helping each other pick up the bike. In certain cases, maybe there's a mechanical breakdown and you have to rely on somebody else's help to get the bike out of the woods. Well, it's much easier to do that when you're surrounded by people who have trucks and are right there and can go get the bike. One of you can wait with you in the bike, and one of you could go get the truck. Or if you're too far into the trail and you can't get a truck through there, you could always have a couple buddies help you push. It's a lot easier to push a dirt bike through the woods with a couple buddies. Alright, so you might be thinking, well, join a group. Okay, sounds good, but how do I find one? To be honest with you, I've found the best medium for finding other people to ride with in other groups is Facebook. Admittedly, I didn't have a Facebook until one of our Grey Bush group members, Corey, actually kind of convinced me to get one. Credit where credit is due. So one of the greatest advantages of Facebook is you can actually kind of look at the other person's profile before you actually meet them and go riding through the woods with them. You know, there's a slight advantage there over meeting somebody off of Craigslist. There are also other kinds of riding groups. For example, we have Washington area trail riders and Central Virginia trail riders here local to me, and they are actually paid membership, yearly paid membership groups where you go in, you pay $100, $150, $200 for an entire year. You can attend a board meeting here, you go out and you do trail maintenance, but the group actually owns the trail itself. For those groups, you pretty much have access 365 days a year. I think there are some limitations during hunting season, but those groups are also great as well because, like I said, you pay $100, $150, $200 and you're off randomly, you go and you go ride, and there's no legality issues, there's nothing, you park and you ride. It's great. So going back to the mechanical breakdown issue, one of the other advantages of being in a group is a lot of times there's a mechanic or two, or maybe 5 in the group. And I'm going to speak for myself when I say this, since I am one. I'm more than willing to help. Along those lines, it's also great to bounce off modification ideas from other members. You know, there's so many products out there for dirt bikes and dual sports, it's mind-boggling. You know, you never know who has experience with what brand of part, this, that, and the other. So, like, I'll give you an example. You know, in our group, we frequently talk about, well, what's better, the tubeless system, the moose, the bib, you know, so on and so forth. And it's great to bounce ideas off of each other. Now, here's actually a great example. I had just let Vance pass because I was actually kind of struggling to keep up with the group, and he was on my tail at this point. And he ended up bending it into the side of a tree there.
You good?
This particular time it wasn't serious at all,
Need help?
but if it had been, if I hadn't been there to check on him, you know, if you're sitting there on the side of the trail in the middle of the woods, miles into the woods, knocked out, you know, what's going to happen? Wrecking these bikes off-road happens, I mean, pretty much every time we ride. And basically, if you're not falling off, wrecking, or dropping it, you're not riding it right. You're not riding it hard enough. So it's inevitably going to happen. And it's always nice to have somebody have your back, you know what I mean? With all that said, I'm sure there's a few things that I'm missing, probably quite a few things I'm missing. If I've convinced you to join a riding group today, well, my job here is done. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to leave you with some extra riding footage. If you like what you see, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button as well so you can get notifications from me. If this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, the plan moving forward is actually endurance racing. So there's going to be a lot of action going on for the rest of this year. A quick look at the forecast and everybody's work schedules. The next couple days isn't going to be the greatest, so there might be a small gap in uploads, maybe 10 days. Until that time, I will catch y'all later. Peace.